Hello, welcome to the Sunnydale Diaries, a podcast where I, Sean,
And I, Melanie.
watch and discuss every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and how the themes of those episodes impact our lives.
Mm-hmm.
If you are new to the podcast, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about Season 4, Episode 7, The Initiative.
The Initiative.
And if you have not listened to or watched the podcast before, I have been a big Buffy fan since it originally aired in the 90s. And
And I have not.
all new to Melanie. However, she did go out and purchase a Buffy related shirt.
I did.
Shut off, Melanie.
It's the dingoes. Wait, I'm going to back up so you see the whole thing.
All right.
Hang on.
I really like it.
Give me a 360.
I have a dingo shirt too, but I like yours more.
What is this guy? Remember, this guy was big in the 90s.
It's a dingo.
No, but is that the dingo? Is that their dingo? Is that their emblem?
I
Wasn't there
believe
a
so.
cartoon
Yeah.
dog that was like this?
No, I think you're thinking of what's his name? Spuzz McKenzie?
No, Sean Spud McKenzie.
No, there was. I know who you mean, but
There
there
was.
was.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
find it and then we'll post it later
Yep. Okay.
because I must be right.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave us a rating or a review. We recently got a review on Apple Podcasts from Charlie Boy 115. He said this is a fantastic podcast with a unique format that makes it stand out from other Buffy recap podcasts, and really enjoy our viewpoints and appreciate our personal stories.
Ah,
And they can't wait to hear our thoughts on the remainder of the series.
yeah.
So thank you, Charlie Boy 115.
Thanks for writing in.
Yeah. So
My prediction was way off.
your prediction was way off, but
But I knew that because you laughed when I told you, and you don't usually laugh.
I mean, I see how you got there. You thought it was like a campus initiative.
But then I did say that there was some kind of a lab or something. I did say that.
Okay. All
Good.
right. I believe you.
Let's rewatch the tape. They must be being dragged off to some kind of headquarters or something somewhere, right?
Okay.
Like a science lab.
Okay.
You're gonna have to embed that now.
Okay. Thanks for adding
All
more
right.
work to it.
Yep. Okay.
So Riley is trying to do a little flirting.
He's trying.
Yeah, with Buffy in this
It's
episode.
very awkward.
Yeah, he didn't do well. But he was smart that he hit up Willow to find out how do I do this, what do I talk to her about. So you had a good suggestion for our discussion topic.
Mm-hmm. If somebody came up to you and said, I like Melanie a lot. I want to talk to her, but I don't know what is she like? What can I talk to her about? What's my in?
So
Let's get her interested.
I think I would tell them, be your friend first. Like don't go in all like hot and heavy and try and get physical. um, but just like, I mean, I would say start up a conversation related to pop culture, because first it's a safe topic,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that would draw you in.
Probably.
Start talking about, trying to think what you're watching right now. Star Trek Voyager.
Yeah.
Start the conversation on Star Trek. I think that, because I mean, when you and I were first started like talking at work, that's how we connected.
Pop culture.
Pop culture. Yeah, I think we were both. I think we mentioned on the podcast, probably we were both watching Doctor Who at the same time, and and it just went from there.
Yeah. Well, your interview, right at your interview, you knew.
Well, at my interview, yeah, you were like giving me rapid fire questions about pop culture.
Yep.
But I would say like start with that, like what are you watching? What are you reading? Who are your musical artists?
Yeah.
Um, what was this person in? Or we're like, what show was this person in? And talk about the 50 other shows they were
That's
connected to.
right.
Like 6 degrees of any actor.
That's right. All right.
Uh, what about
And
you?
she likes
Well,
cheese.
well, yes, yes. What about you? If you were,
Uh,
you
Ask
were
him about
playing,
Buffy.
am I that transparent?
Ask him about Buffy. Talk to him about um, cooking. Ask him his opinion. Ask him if he knows how to make a good bechamel sauce. About Buffy. Yeah, pop culture. Um, ask him if he's reading any good fairy porn or dragon porn books right now. Has he
Yeah,
read those?
we prefer the term romanticy.
Oh, okay, whatever. But we all know what it is. Now, I think you and I both know each other well enough that we would give good advice.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. At
So,
first, I would say he's married.
well, I mean, I think in this scenario, I'm
He's
not.
married.
But here's what you do.
But if you really want to get in there, um, all right. The other thing we were going to talk about. Oh no, but related to that, and related to this whole situation where he's going to Willow, I have a dot matrix printout of a chat that my best friend Gina had with this guy that was interested in me, and I wouldn't talk to him, and he was trying to talk to her and get advice as to how he could get back in with me. I'll have to share that with you later.
Dot
It
matrix
was very
printed.
interesting. A dot matrix printout. Yeah, she printed the whole thing and showed me later. That's a good
That's
friend. By the way, she's like, I talked to blah 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 last night. It's like, wow, what? She's like, yeah, don't worry, I printed the whole thing out. It only took an hour.
so. I have two friends who are now married, and it was in '98. I was in my sophomore year of college. So I worked with him at the supermarket. He went to a different college, and I knew her because she was going to Stony Brook also. We had a friend in common, and they were kind of interested in each other, but they were both asking me about the other one. Now, according to her, she said that I was trying to keep them apart because I had a crush on her.
Oh, is this the
I
girl
don't
who
know.
thought you were cheating on her?
No, no, different,
Okay, different
different.
girl.
No,
These
this
women
was
see
before
something
that.
in you, like they're all way off base. You're
So
unreadable.
and like we're still friends. Like I see them, whenever I go up to New York. But like she swears that like I was telling each other like other things to keep them apart.
Oh my gosh.
And we laugh about it now, but I don't think I've been wingman many other times. For that,
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
I think given the opportunity, I would talk of a friend if they needed it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so the other thing, kind of, like you and I were joking when we were saying, yeah, we both like cheese. You could talk about that. We love cheese. I think you and I went on a date to Cheese. Remember Cheese Please?
Yes, it's still open.
It's still open. We went to this
Yeah,
place in Tampa where you just sit down and you get like a cheese flight.
yeah.
It was good.
I had gotten you a gift certificate for your birthday, and I think we waited like almost a year before we actually went.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's still there. Yeah, it was good.
I know. I always see reels about those cheese conveyor belt cheese places. Where it's just cheese with a couple little accoutrements. Oh,
Hmm.
I would love to go to one of those.
Have you ever done the raclette where they have like the half wheel of cheese? It's like melted and they scrape
No,
it.
can you believe that? When I was in Switzerland, home of raclette, I don't know that I knew about raclette, where they just take the
Uh,
melty cheese over the potatoes. Oh my god,
yes.
we did have authentic fondue while we were there, though.
Ah,
That was pretty darn good.
yum.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite type of cheese?
I like sharp cheese.
Okay.
Like a good cheddar, a good sharp cheddar. Um, Boar's Head has a good Canadian cheddar that I love. That's one of my go-tos. And I told Sean, in honor of this episode and the fact that I didn't feel like cooking tonight, that's what I had for dinner. Girl dinner of cheese crackers and a little summer sausage. It was delicious.
Yum.
Yeah, I'm not so into the stinky cheeses.
Mm.
But other than that, I like I like a crumbly cheese. I'm like friggin' Bubba Blue
Bubba gum.
Bubba Blue in Forrest Gump. Yeah, I like crumbly cheese, sweet cheese, creamy cheese, sharp cheese. Love it all. What's your favorite?
I like a good sharp cheddar. That's
Yeah,
probably like the number one.
yeah.
Yeah. I love that Wensleydale with the blueberries that you introduced
So
me to.
good. Oh my gosh,
That's
Wensleydale with a
good.
little fruit in it. Oh my gosh, you can't beat it. And
Yeah.
very similarly, Stilton is kind of that same class of cheeses, I think.
And when me and you and our husbands did that cheese and beer pairing last year, there was that one. It was a brown cheese and it almost tasted like peanut butter. I don't know if you remember
That's
this.
right. Where did we do that? Or was it like a
That was
brewery in Clearwater?
yeah. It was called
That's
Grindhouse
right. Oh yes,
Brew Lab.
I don't remember
Yeah,
what kind of cheese that was, but yeah, it was like peanut buttery.
yeah, it was good. I
Mm.
found it at Whole Foods, but we didn't buy it. But yeah,
Oh,
that was good. Yeah.
one of the pharmacists I worked with, her brother was like worked on the National Dairy Board or something. And every year he was a judge for the National Cheese, whatever their contest is to judge the best cheeses. I was like, man, what a great job
Yeah, yeah.
up in Wisconsin. Cheese curds.
You're
You ever had cheese curds? Like squeaky
only
cheese
like
curds?
from like not only from like Culver's.
Nah.
Yeah, I know. It's not. I mean, they're yummy, but I've never had like the
Oh
authentic, like
yeah.
not fried cheese curds.
Yeah, that girl that I worked with, she brought some back and man, were they good. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I need to get those tried.
Highly recommend it
Hmm.
if you're in Wisconsin.
Are you a grilled cheese
I
fan?
love grilled cheese. Drew and I used to go to the Village Inn a lot when we lived in Florida. That was one of his go-to places, and they had this grown-up grilled cheese, and it was really yummy. And it was like a cheese blend, and then they had bacon and tomatoes, I think, on it, which I approve, even though I don't
Mm,
really like tomatoes. But then they'd put like cheese on the bread on the outside and grill it, so it was
oh,
like a crunchy.
right.
Oh,
I do enjoy a good crunchy
oh,
grilled cheese.
yes, with some tomato soup. Yes.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I'm into it.
yeah. Stuff. That's the one thing we still have a George Foreman grill from like the
Oh,
2000s.
yeah.
Grilled cheese sandwiches in there.
Yeah.
It gets squished like a panini press. Oh, so good.
Oh. Oh. All
Maybe
right.
that's what I'll have for dinner. All right. Are you ready to get into the initiative?
I'm ready.
All right. I have a lot to talk about.
You do?
I
Okay.
do.
I know you were texting me a bit. And I wanted to
Yeah.
tell you, stop texting me. All I get are these words. And I'm like, the words you're sending me are all like the key points of my notes.
Why should I stop texting you then?
Yeah.
Because I lately I haven't been watching the episode until like the hour before we record.
Oh,
So I figured by this time she's
like,
watched it.
so the little recap is basically like a roundup of all the key men in the series right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Parker,
We get
Spike,
that.
Riley, oh, and Walsh, and then the
Yep.
masked mystery men.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Spike getting tased.
Yes.
Man, Parker sucks.
Yeah, he still sucks.
We open up and I want to get these areas down in my notes so that I'm saying the same thing episode to episode. It's not, I wouldn't call it a
They
cafeteria.
keep calling it the canteen.
That was the canteen. Okay.
Canteen. Yeah.
Okay. So Riley is there grading papers
Yep.
with Forrest. I don't think we've seen Forrest
We
before.
haven't, but do you know who that
Okay.
is?
I
He
didn't, I
was
didn't get a chance
in
to
the
IMDb
most
everybody.
awesome movie ever, Drumline.
Haven't seen it.
Oh, you only need to watch the last 30 minutes.
Okay.
That's like the big drumline finals.
Okay.
That's the only
Does he
part
have
worth it. But yeah, he plays like the drum major guy in that
okay.
movie.
He has a big role in that.
Yeah, that's like one of the main characters. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if that was before or after Buffy. One moment, please.
Yep.
That was 2002.
So that was after because this was still 99.
This is okay. All right. So yep, his Buffy role got him that drumline role.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Anyway, okay.
So
So yeah, so he's sitting there and he's like, "Oh, check out that girl over there," and they're talking about Buffy, who is just making it like it's like this little Lucille Ball, Abbott and Costello routine she's doing over
yes,
there.
she's the comic relief in this scene. She's breaking the
Really
soda
is.
machine. She's breaking the. She broke the handle off the strawberry ice cream
Is it
machine.
because of her Buffy strength that she's
I
breaking
think
everything?
so. Yeah.
Yeah, so she
Yep.
breaks it. And did you notice the cartoon noise they put on that when she broke that? It
No.
was like sploosh. I, you're gonna have to cut that in here.
She's just kind of, I don't know, peculiar. Peculiar? Yeah.
Go back and listen to it. It was very funny.
Well, okay. The soda machine was funny, but when she broke the ice cream machine, it just kept coming, and she's trying to catch it.
I know, and then she just walks away.
Finally just walks away. It was good. And then Graham shows up.
Yep.
Meet Graham.
They're still talking about Buffy and Riley. Why aren't you into Buffy? What's the problem? She's look at her. And then he sits, and when Graham sits down, he's like, "Isn't she mattressable?" That's right when Drew walked into the room, and he's like, "What?" And I was like, "Exactly. That right there. That is the men in this show."
Yeah. And then he said French, and I'm like, Melanie will know. They say pas. It
Oh,
looks like
Nespa. Nespa
Nespa.
means isn't
Was
it,
it?
or isn't that true? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
She's
Yeah.
mattressable. Nespa.
Like, is that what straight guys do? They just like.
I don't know.
Okay.
Probably. Straight guys, let us know. Do you guys really talk like that? Do you really talk like that?
Matchable?
Oh.
Is she top sheetable?
Oh.
Is she duvetable?
She duveyable. And Riley is just like, she's fine. She's Buffy. Whatever. She's a little off.
Yeah, she's kind of peculiar.
Yeah.
And then she falls.
Yeah. Yeah, something was off with her. I don't know. Maybe she was drunk. Maybe she had some more beer.
And then cuts to Spike on like a white industrial looking floor.
Yeah.
Looking very pale.
Oh, he doesn't look good. They layered on the makeup and the dark rouge in here to show, and his lips were all chapped.
Did you happen to see like something was going on? I guess it was maybe just like a reflection because we do see it through glass. Okay, you saw this. I thought like I was getting like a migraine aura. What? No.
It was just a weird reflection. I don't know what it was a reflection of, but yeah, it was just because we were looking through the glass.
So we finally.
I was doing the same thing. I was at the TV doing this.
I rewound like 3 times. Like, what is going on here?
So the cell is electrified. There's like and there's some good zappy laser effect.
Yeah, more MS Paint.
Yes, more MS Paint. That's their thing.
Which I had to use today. I thought of you.
You had to use MS Paint today?
Yeah, I was mocking up a screenshot of FTP folder structure, and I was like trying to just like write it out in Word. I'm like, let me just like fake it. So I was using that. Like it's good to use for that.
I didn't even know it was still a thing.
Oh yeah,
didn't even. I
was actually reading an article like they tried replacing it with Paint 3D.
A
couple of years ago, Windows, and they got rid of
that. The people rebelled.
So he's in the cell. He's being held captive. The camera pulls back, and then we see the other vampire that was captured in the freshman.
Yeah,
the very first
episode whole hallway.
Of the season. Yep.
Very cabin in the woods.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Which also done by Joss Whedon. So.
Yes. So he just rehashed this.
Well, expanded, I
Remember
guess.
that episode of Buffy with that lab collection of things?
Let's make a movie about
Make a
that.
whole movie about that.
Call up Hemsworth.
That's right.
Call up the guy from the West Wing.
Wait, who was the guy from the West Wing? Oh, Bradley Whitford.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Couldn't think of his name.
All right.
Yeah.
So then we have credits.
Yep. And Seth Green is not in the credits.
Right, but now Jamie Marsters is in the credits.
Yeah. I don't think we've mentioned this on the podcast yet, but Melanie and I are going to Fanboy Expo in Knoxville, Tennessee in July, and James Marsters is going to be there.
Yes.
So we will add him to our collection of selfies and photos with Buffy actors.
I just saw a funny clip of him on some talk show, and it was him and Anthony Stewart Head, and he was saying he was very young. It was a long time ago, and he's like, "Well, if you see this, the title of the show, if you look, I don't know what he was saying. He was like, it doesn't suck you in unless you already know what it's about. I don't know, He's like, that's why I didn't watch it till I was on." But what I was going to get to here is that it freaks me out every time I hear his speaking voice.
Because he's American.
He's not British.
Yeah. Well, it's like the opposite of that is, I know, I'm watching The Good Wife, and Alan Cumming is on there, who is very British.
Yes.
But
he's very British.
He has no hint on this show,
good.
the role he's playing. It is, you have no idea. Very good job.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So after credits, we open in Giles' villa.
Yes.
He's sketching the mysterious mass military people.
The MMM.
Yeah.
M cubed.
Yeah, that's a genre. Never mind. Xander is also there. They're feeling out of the loop, I think, again.
Yeah, there's not much they can do.
Yeah. Giles is a pretty good artist. That's a better drawing than I could do.
Yeah, exactly. As Buffy walks in, she's like, "Oh, that's the guy."
Yep.
That's pretty good.
Her late night stormtrooper pal.
Yes.
What she said.
Yes.
I like that. But Buffy does not want to patrol tonight. She is going to a party, bringing Willow along, cheer her up.
Needs to cheer up Willow. Mm-hmm. Did you ever have a friend have to cheer you up after a breakup?
Maybe not after a breakup, but plenty of other times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Like Maria, who was on that first episode of the season. She was always good for that.
Yeah.
Of course, my husband now. He's often bringing me back up. What did you just say?
What? I didn't say anything.
Okay.
Your friend Melanie does that for you sometimes.
Well, yeah, of course. That's a given. I was talking about other people.
That's a given.
I was like, what are you pointing at? Like, what does this mean?
What? This is me. Who has two thumbs and is pointing to herself? Me.
That's just fact. I don't need to call it out. Oh,
let's move on. It's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna pop my soda now.
Back at the Initiative.
Yes. No, we don't know yet that it's called the Initiative.
No, back at Spike's glass cell.
I just kept calling it the cages.
Yeah.
We're at the cages.
A bag of blood drops out of the ceiling.
Yeah. This place is like 1975 high tech.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Like with the little, I told Drew I'm making a replica of this for our season 4 recap to put on the wall. The little boxy computer with 3 lights and like a little blinky.
Yes.
And the card swipe slot. Ridiculous.
So he goes to grab the bag of blood, and the vampire from the Freshman stops him, says they're drugs. I got to do my 30-second Vampire Diaries rant.
Oh.
They are constantly drinking from blood bags,
Yeah.
like units of blood they steal from the hospital, and like they sip it like it's a Capri Sun, and it just drives me crazy.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. I'm doing yet another rewatch of American Horror Story while I'm working in the studio.
Yep.
So in Hotel, when what's her name?
Lady Gaga,
No,
Sarah Paulson.
no, she plays Holden's mom, the little kid's mom, John Lowe, and oh, what I keep wanting to say Zoe Deschanel, but it's not Zoe Deschanel.
Zoe
Anyway,
Deschanel.
oh, it's gonna drive me crazy. Sorry, hang on.
Yeah, go ahead, look it up.
Oh man, Chloe Sevigny.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, in American Horror Story, when Chloe Sevigny is turned into a vampire, she's a doctor. They show her in the med room or the blood room, I guess. She's locked in there and she's just tearing into a bag and sucking it dry.
Yeah, I'd rather do that than just the way they're just like.
I don't know. Also, in American Horror Story, they pour it out of wine carafes into glasses, goblets, and drink it like that. There's no good way to drink blood, Sean.
That's fair. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
That could be the title of this episode. There's no good way to drink blood. Don't drink that blood.
No,
That's
it
really
is
cool.
drugged. And that guy says he was running from the Slayer, and Spike goes on, "Oh, the Slayer are gonna kill her," blah blah blah.
Do you remember that? Do you remember us seeing when that guy was taken?
Yeah.
By the M cubed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the episode 1 finale.
Yeah, Sunday, right? That was the episode?
Yep.
So that vampire, this is interesting, is in vampire form.
Mm-hmm.
And Spike is not.
Right.
I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah, it's just an
choice
indication
of
they're
who's gonna
bad.
be in vamp and who's not, and when and how long.
It's like if they're a lesser character and they don't have much of a point, they're in vampire form.
Yeah. Which
I had the same thought.
production wise, I don't know if that makes sense. If you would think they're coming in for like a 2-hour cameo, but they're gonna spend 5 hours in the makeup chair.
And makeup, yeah. It's gotta take a while to do that.
I would think so too. Unless
Yeah.
they're just prosthetics. That they just use spirit gum to attach it.
Right. Spirit.
Well, that's what they use.
No, I know.
Okay, all right. Okay.
In psychology class, Professor Walsh assigns 3 chapters, chapters 8 through 11. Like, ugh, I don't miss reading. I don't miss reading for college. I love reading, but not textbook reading. That was rough.
No, just the fairy and dragonborn. Now, if they intersperse some of that into the psychology text, maybe you read that.
Willow and Riley are talking, asking, about Oz. Like he's gonna come back. I know he's missed a couple of classes.
What's her indication that he's going to come back? He didn't say he was coming back, did he?
I think it's just her hope.
Oh, and we also learned his actual name,
Daniel Osborne.
Daniel Osborne.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They may have mentioned it one time in the past.
Okay,
like way back when he was introduced, but it's not. We never hear it really.
Okay. All right. And then Professor Walsh is like, "Forget it. He's out." And she was rough.
Yeah, it
means something to you, but not to me. He's out.
Which, I mean,
thanks.
I see her point, but yeah, she could have had a little more tact.
She just says it like it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Willow just kind of wanders off upset, and Buffy stands up to her and says, for a teacher of human behavior, you might try showing some.
That's right.
Which I appreciate it.
But then Walsh is like, sorry, it's not my job to coddle these students, which is true.
Very true.
I'm not getting involved in your angst, your romantic angst.
You chose to pay money for tuition and then leave.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Then Riley again says something to her like, then when Buffy walks away, Walsh says, "I like her." And Riley's like, "You don't think she's peculiar?"
Peculiar?
Like, oh my God, that's going to be the theme of this episode, isn't it?
She's so peculiar. Now we're at Xander's basement.
Mm-hmm.
Giles is there. They're still complaining about being left out.
But I guess they're gonna go do the patrolling since Buffy's not gonna go to that. Since Buffy's not gonna do patrolling tonight, so
Yep.
they're gearing up for that. And once again, Xander makes a reference to when he was a military guy,
Hmm.
right? So I guess he's saying we've talked about this too. Does he or does he not remember? Do people or do they not remember when they're in these altered states?
Well, and does it like fade over time? Because maybe he got like those like fighting skills or whatever, but just like anything else, if you don't use it,
Right. That's right.
eventually you're gonna
That's
lose
right.
it.
That's right.
And everything is okay because his mom made fruit punch.
This is the first time we've heard his mom, I think.
Hmm.
And she
And
was doing something nice for them.
yeah, the first time we've like heard his mom, and in a good way.
Yes.
The child is it raspberry fruit punch? Fruit punch doesn't have flavor. It's flavors. It's fruit punch.
Raspberry.
It's
Snoresberry.
Snowsberry.
Okay, so now what are we gonna call the room that these guys are hanging out in now? They're not in the canteen
I
anymore.
no, I don't know. The lounge.
I
This
think
will be
it's
the
like
lounge.
a dorm common room.
Hmm.
Yeah, like a
They're in,
lounge.
okay, and it's Riley Forrest and Graham
Yep.
again, and
The dude bros.
yes, and Parker shows up.
And he's just man, his character is consistent. If nothing else, you can count on Riley or on Parker to say some awful stuff.
And man, he does. This is the
Yep.
worst
Yeah, he's the
like
worst.
that we've ever heard. I mean, first he just like she's whiny, she's clingy,
Yeah, she's clingy.
and then he gets into they got physical, and she wouldn't leave him alone. And then he says,
Then his joke, his joke. I rewound it and I called Drew in and I was like, "All right, here's another example. You got to listen to this."
I remembered he told a joke. I did not remember the joke.
Uh,
I didn't think it was that bad. No,
horrible.
I don't. I said that wrong. I don't remember it being that horrible. Not
Yeah.
that I didn't think it was that bad.
Oh
It was
yeah.
horrible.
Yep.
And so he tells his little joke that I'm not repeating.
Immediately knocked the heck out
Yes,
by
thank you,
Riley.
Riley.
Yep.
Punched in the face.
Yep. And I put because he has feelings for her. I knew it. I called it.
You did.
Something's gonna happen.
You did.
We need to keep score of this.
We need a predictions table.
Yeah,
How many were right? How many were way off? How many were right? How many were wrong? And
Yeah.
how many were completely off?
Yeah.
After he punches Graham, Riley, and Forrest are walking through the campus, and Graham had a frisbee. It's just like, of course he did. Riley comes to the realization that he likes that peculiar girl.
Yeah, that's right.
Got a little crush on Buck.
It's like in Friends. Why didn't you tell me that I was still in love with Ross? Why didn't you tell me I had feelings for her?
Now, over at the hallway of many cages,
Yes,
Spike is being dragged out by people in lab coats. He looks like he's unconscious, but no, he's awake.
fake out.
Yeah, he attacks. He lets out the other guy, the other vampire.
Swipe card. We use the swipe card.
Which he did really, really hard.
Swipe card technology, man.
And they run. There's a mad dash to escape, and they're swarmed by the mysterious mass military.
Triple M's, and Spike's like, let's try something different. We'll separate. You go this way, and he pushes him into the bad guys, into the initiative guys.
Yeah, where everybody else is. Yeah.
That was good.
Willow in Buffy's dorm. Poor Willow. She's sitting there listening to sad music.
Listening to The Cure.
Oh, that's what it was? Okay.
Yeah, in my mind.
Oh, okay.
Writing bad poetry.
There's a knock at the door, and it's Riley.
Yep.
And he's there because he wants to. I mean, he went there, I think, to talk to Buffy, but she wasn't there. So then he's hitting up Willow for some information.
Yeah.
And Willow sees Buffy's duffel bag of weapons on the floor.
Yeah.
And he's trying to like nudge her to the bed. He's like, "Here, let me help you."
Yeah, let me help you.
Under there.
Yep.
At first, Willow like seems to be helping him out, but then like she starts going on about
Yeah.
eventually
Yeah.
you're one of you's gonna hurt the other. They're
Right.
gonna be heartbroken. And, love sucks.
Yep. He's like, yep, that's what I figured.
And he doesn't know what to do about it because he's never courted anyone like her before. Have you been courted, Melanie?
Courted. I have been courted, Sean. I have.
Okay, that's good. How often do you use courted
I've never
in?
called it that.
You know why?
Froggy goes a courting.
That's what I was
All
thinking.
right.
Yes. I mean, even when this was filmed in 1999, 26 years
Well,
ago.
maybe that choice of words is to set him apart and show us that he's a gosh darn good guy.
Yeah. Oh, darn tootin'. But Will finally does warm up a little bit.
Yep.
She tells him that Buffy likes cheese.
Yep.
We hear about Mr. Gordo,
Mm-hmm.
who has been consistent 4 seasons.
That's right.
Mr. Gordo. The ice capade, she loves them in an unironic way.
Mr. Gordo would be a good cosplay accessory.
I thought you were just going to end it with it would be a good cosplay. And I'm like, yeah, it would.
It
No,
would
you're
be
right.
a good cosplay. That's a pretty deep cut, though.
All right, we got about 3 months to find Mr. Gordo.
All right.
In the Spike Harmony cave,
Yep.
Harmony's putting up a
A unicorn poster. Oh, Harmony.
and Spike is back.
Yep.
He got out.
Yep.
More, it's probably only like 2 minutes, but more abusive relationship going on.
So what I took from this scene, yeah, there was abusive relationship, and then another example of abuser, and then the victim just is like, but I'm glad you're back.
Yeah.
I take you back, okay. But my takeaway was all the nicknames that he was throwing out.
Yeah.
Spike, and he called her, what do you call her? My little foam latte, mon petite creme brulee.
And then she said, "Ooh, Italian."
Italian. My little bag of mentholated smokes.
He even referred to himself as her Blondie Bear.
Blondie Bear and Big Daddy.
Yeah. Good stuff.
But then he's talking about how his number one priority is to get Buffy.
Mm-hmm.
And Harmony is not happy about that.
Poor Harmony.
I know, poor Harmony. Then we go to Xander and Giles on patrol.
The odd couple.
Which is pretty much Xander just annoying the heck out of Giles.
Yeah, we get, shut up.
Yep.
From Giles. And then at the Lowell house party.
Yep.
Buffy and Willow are there. And
yep.
Willow's playing wingman.
Yep.
Points
He
out
goes directly over to Riley to give him a little pep talk.
Yeah.
Some pointers.
So Riley goes to Buffy. Did you happen to catch the deli platter of cold cuts with like the fancy parsley on? Yeah, it was like you're just like on a shelf where Buffy was standing and like this is supposed to be a college frat party. We're not getting a fancy plate of cold cuts. Some boar's head.
I'm thinking, is there really fancy cold cuts at any party?
The platter, like the layout of it was fancy, not the cold cuts themselves.
Okay, no. What I took from that scene where he walks up to her, she's in mid conversation with a group of people, and he's like, "Excuse me," and like pushes everyone aside, and those extras just kind of turn around and leave. It's like, what? We were talking.
Like, all right, we're done.
I guess we're done.
Yep.
Like,
and he opens.
She's like, one moment. She's like, okay.
Hi, my TA.
Right, yeah.
And he opens with, "Did you do the reading on chapter 9?" I mean, come on. Try a little bit.
Yep.
And ends with cheese.
Yes.
In the woods.
Yep.
Harmony is pouring gas on some things.
Yep.
And Xander walks up. They get into it for the best fight scene we have seen in the four
It
seasons of
really
this
was.
show.
It was so funny and slow. And I was like, oh, they don't need a stunt double for this fight. This is
I
amazing.
figured that too. Yeah, and it was slapping, kicking. It was so good.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
And
They
they're like,
break.
okay, we're just going to stop on the count of 3. Just back off.
Harmony was burning Spike's things because she's mad at him because all
It's
he
all about
cares about
Buffy.
is,
Yep.
you know. And then Xander runs away.
Yep.
Back at the party on the couch, Willow and Riley are talking. Find out the music that's playing is the Dingoes.
hmm
So Riley's a good guy. He tells him to change the music. And I had to pause and zoom in. I have that stereo. I still have it. It's in the garage. The tape decks don't work.
Oh,
Which
and
we pretty much
go ahead.
we're using it for the speakers, really, but still have it.
Okay. All right. You got your money's worth.
Yeah.
What I got out of that was and then when he's like, there's a guy obviously sitting at the record player all night or the CD player. He's sitting there changing out the CDs.
He's the DJ hitting the button.
He has to be at the ready for when he gets the directive. Cut it off. He gets consoled and they turn off the music, the song. Willow leaves and Buffy goes to talk to Buffy again, interrupting her mid conversation. He's about to ask her out mid sentence. We don't know because that's when Xander interrupts them, right? And
Yep.
she leaves, right? And then the 3 bestie dudes are there, or the 2 bestie dudes are there, as all bestie dudes are, to just give him some crap,
Yep.
right? And they're like, "We need you downstairs," and then they go stand by the mirror in the hallway
Yep.
with the retinal scan.
Forrest does the in front of the mirror.
There's just a guy standing to the side with a flashlight.
And the mirror opens. It's a secret elevator.
Secret elevator
Yeah.
where they have the
Did you see it?
voice match.
Did you see any of that coming? Did you have any idea?
No, not until the retinal scan. I was like, oh,
Okay.
and then the tiles. I was like, oh my god, the freaking lab is in the frat house.
Yep.
Man.
And I didn't notice this, but the trivia mentioned it, and I went back and checked right before we started when they do like the overhead shot, and there's like a couple of like beings on stretchers.
Yeah.
One of them is the reptile fish demon from Go Fish in season 2.
Conchata Farrell, R.I.P.
Yep.
Okay. What I noticed was one that you had that moment of, oh my gosh, what is it? They're part of this lab thing, and then they just laid it right out. They're demon hunters,
Yep.
right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And do we know his last name was Finn? Riley Finn, Agent Riley Finn.
Yeah, possibly. I was thinking that like I could see him introducing himself that way, like maybe in that first episode with
Oh, okay.
Buffy.
All right.
Yeah, so he's Agent Riley Finn, and Professor Walsh is like overseeing them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I could see her in that role.
Yeah. 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 Also, another Cabin in the Woods reference, or I guess they referring this, is when they're doing their little walk and talk through that area. It was very much like the intro scene of the Cabin in the Woods, right? Where Bradley Whitford and the other guy are getting their coffee and da-da-da.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that reminded me of.
Yep.
And this very futuristic, 1975 futuristic OR suite with like, they just took some car screens, sunscreens.
That's what I have in my notes. It looks like sunshade material.
Packed them up.
Yes.
Oh my god! Drape some aluminum foil around some columns. Very
Ready to
futuristic.
go.
Oh my goodness!
Hostile 17 has escaped.
That must be Spike.
Yep. All right. So, question I have for you. So, Professor Walsh says he escaped at 2:47 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
There is a college party going on, so I'm assuming this is in the evening. So, what were they doing between 2:47 p.m. and I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say it's early and 8 p.m. He can get very far in 5.5 hours.
That is a really good question. That is a really big plot hole. I don't know, Sean.
Okay.
Okay. Good question. Everybody let us know what you thought. Write to us. The
At the
Sunnydale
Sunnydale
Diaries at
Diaries.
gmail.com.
There you go.
And so they're all suiting up, and we got to catch him because this is where they say, because this is where the first time they say the initiative.
Hmm.
And the initiative is in peril somehow if we don't catch Spike. So we don't really know exactly what the initiative is still, but it's something. Now we are back to Buffy, Giles, and Xander talking about the fact that Spike is back.
Hmm.
And Xander refers to Riley as Teutonic Boy Toy.
I had to Google Teutonic. I've heard it before.
Did it clarify it for you once you looked up what it is?
Um,
I don't think they're using it in the context of its definition.
well, so what I saw was like of Germanic heritage.
Yeah, it's using her thing.
So I mean, he's kind of,
I
is he
guess
blonde
he
or
is
brown?
Blondie.
Yeah,
But
it
then
was. Yeah,
later
it was a
on,
stretch.
he says something, and Buffy goes, "That was very Teutonic."
Yeah, yeah, I know. I
What?
didn't. She
Okay.
says weird things.
No.
Yeah.
That's what I was just like, this is just one of those Buffy vocabulary things.
She's peculiar.
Yeah, that is true. She's peculiar. Yeah. And I
So
wrote with her 2.8 GPA, she has no idea what Teutonic means. That's why she just used it.
she probably thought it was like tectonic, and because he's big, he moves like
Yeah,
a
yeah, maybe.
continent.
Maybe.
Uh, Xander gives Buffy a flare gun, which I'm sorry, is a little
Here, take
ridiculous.
this.
If you're in trouble,
Yeah.
shoot it off. Like she's a Slayer, she's good.
Yeah. But she can signal for help, like he said, if you need help.
Mm-hmm. Where was that flare gun for the previous 63 episodes?
Yeah.
Spike is at a computer.
Yep. He's got some
Apparently,
skills.
he's got some hacking skills.
He's got some tech skills. Arrow, 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 arrow. Done.
We find out that Buffy and Willow's dorm room is 214, which that is a good piece of trivia.
That is a good piece of trivia.
So now we got 1630 Ravello Drive and room 214.
214. All right. Man, that would be amazing if that came up someday. Oh man, I hope I'm with you when it does.
Do you remember? I think it was like 2017. You and I went and did Buffy trivia. You were just there for moral support for me, really.
Yeah.
But the questions were like so ridiculously easy. It was like
Oh.
true or false. Spike is a vampire.
Oh.
And I was like, I did research. Not that I studied, but I definitely was googling some things, and it was like so basic.
Kind of the opposite of our Friends trivia experience.
Oh my god, that was ridiculous.
We thought we were walking and had it all sewn up.
We knew nothing.
Yeah, I think by the third question we were like, "What are we doing here?" Have we ever watched this show?
Riley, Forrest, and Graham are suited up, looking around,
Yes.
trying to find Spike, and they spot someone,
They're
and it's
binoculars.
Buffy.
They're binoculars from the bushes on the edge of the quad to see the bench in the middle of the quad.
And they see Buffy on a bench. Of course, they're worried about her.
That was a funny scene.
Yeah. Their solution is, Riley's just going to go flirt some more, or try to.
Yeah.
Buffy wants to get rid of him. He wants her to leave, and they hear a female scream,
Mhm.
and both run off, but in different directions.
Yep. Yeah. Now we're back at Willow's dorm room.
Mm-hmm.
Knock, knock, knock. And she says, "Come in." Big mistake. It's
Never-
Spike.
nope.
You don't ever say "come in" when you live in
No.
Sunnydale. What's wrong
I
with
think it's
you?
just a good thing in general,
Oh, God.
even outside of Sunnydale, but definitely in Sunnydale.
Not when they're vampires. Okay, so Spike comes in, and he's gonna kill her. He was looking for Buffy, but no, he'll just kill Willow instead. Or he's gonna bring her back as a vampire. And then while he's standing in front of her, there's some horrible green screen of him vamping out with Willow supposedly right next to him. It was awful.
Willow has a good scream.
Yeah, yeah,
She let one out.
yeah.
It goes to bite her, and commercial break.
Commercial. I bet that was a big deal in the day,
Oh, yes.
right?
Yep.
Because we hear her screaming, but you
Mhm.
can't hear her because he turned on the radio. So they just go out to the hallway and you can't hear anything. Yeah, that must have been scary
Yep.
when you were watching it.
Mhm.
And then we come back and he's sitting on the edge of the bed holding his head in his hands. He's like, I don't know. That's never happened to me before. I don't understand. She's like, well, you're nervous. This whole scene,
Good.
no
That was good.
notes. No notes, Sean. I'm just going to sit back. You say what you want to say.
I mean, he tried. He can't bite her, and then Willow starts thinking it's her fault. It's me, isn't it?
So effed up.
I'm not good enough.
So,
And yeah, he does. I bite you in a heartbeat. And then she says, "Why don't you wait 30 minutes and try again?"
yep. By far my favorite scene of this episode.
And then Willow goes to run out, but no, the door to the dorm room automatically locks. The lights go out
Okay.
all through the
Okay.
dorm.
That is a fire hazard.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yep. All the lights go out.
Riley and company run in. They got their night vision goggles on.
Yep. Yep.
Throw a bag over Spike's head.
Yep.
Willow's seeing everything.
Yep.
Buffy shows up, uses the flare gun. I guess stun everybody.
This is when Spike goes out the window.
Okay.
Because he breaks free and he jumps out the window and gets away. And then Riley comes face to face with, he doesn't know it's Buffy.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a fog from the fire extinguisher or something. Yeah. And then he's like, abort, abort. And they take off. The lights go back on.
The doors unlock.
Yep. Everything unlocks. And then that's it. The end of that scene. Back at the initiative, Walsh is not happy. Number 17 has an accomplice who Forrest says is really big. He was really big. Apparently, they put some kind of implant in Spike, which causes him pain if he tries to hurt a human.
Yep.
Attack or bite. I don't know. So that's what they're doing there.
And then
Not a bad
it goes
gig with Sunnydale.
No. It goes to Riley and Buffy outside. My notes were Riley, Buffy outdoors, blah, blah, blah. But then she ends it with, "You're a little peculiar."
Yeah. She says she makes reference to last night's fraternity prank on the dorm. So that's how they're writing that whole thing off.
Yeah, they're very good at covering stuff up.
Yeah.
Not just in the high school.
And then they just walk together through the quad together.
Mm-hmm.
In the quad together. The end.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff's happening very slowly.
Yep.
That's how courting goes. It's very slow.
How many stakes would you give this one?
I am giving this one 2.25 stakes.
Yeah.
It wasn't my favorite.
I'll go with 2.5. It had its moments.
Yeah.
There were definitely some, like the whole Spike Willow thing towards the end there is hilarious, but overall,
Yeah.
Favorite line?
That whole scene of Willow and Spike. Or it's a tie between that and the fight between Xander and Harmony.
Yeah. I think it's got to be. Why don't you wait 30 minutes and try again? Good. All right. So next we have season 4, episode 8. So we're about a third of the way through the season. Pangs.
What is Pangs about? It's going to be about an evil school of pangolins that attack Sunnydale. No, it's going to be somebody is having pangs for somebody else.
Okay.
Who? We'll just say Riley is having pangs for Buffy.
Okay. I am going to send you a picture, which is a still image from that episode.
Okay.
And I want you to describe the picture.
Okay.
And see if that changes your prediction.
I'm ready. Okay.
Yep.
It's a giant grizzly bear. Buffy is fighting a giant grizzly bear. Pangs. That's what I'm looking at, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Pangs. Hunger pangs. There's a voracious, an insatiable hunger pangs these bears are having. So they're coming in from the forest into town. What's
Okay.
causing these hunger pangs? I don't know.
We will see.
That doesn't tell me anything. That is a horrible hint.
Yeah, I know. That's why I did it.
Oh, jeez.
All right. You want to tell our listeners and viewers about the socials?
I would love to do that, Sean. Thank you for asking.
Okay.
We are on social media pretty much everywhere, and you can find us at the Sunnydale Diaries. On Blue Sky, we are just Sunnydale Diaries. We have an email address, which we have mentioned is the Sunnydale Diaries at gmail.com. We also have a web page, which is thesunnydalediaries.com. And if you go there, you can access our episodes. You can get a copy of our PDF Jenny calendar. You can leave us a review or notes or anything you want on YouTube or on your streaming platform of choice. Did I get them all, Sean?
You could also get an invite to our Discord server on the
That's right.
website.
That's right.
Yep.
Yep.
I tweaked it a little bit this week. I put in a bunch of links to where you can listen on various podcasting platforms. If there's one that you use that's not on there, let us know and I will try to add it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to add, Sean?
I don't think so.
All right.
Other than we'll be at Fanboy Expo in Knoxville in July.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll meet somebody we know. Somebody who
That would
listens.
be cool. Yeah, I would like that very much.
I am just waiting for the day that somebody comes up to us and is like, I love your podcast. Sean, you're so funny.
Melanie, I love your shirt. Okay, so then we'll be back with Pangs, and that'll be on Monday, May 5th, my wedding anniversary.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, we'll see you there.
All righty. Bye, guys.
Bye.